Yo, what's happening 2K family? 2K Mechanic back with another video for you guys. And in today's video, we're going to talk about, is 2K23 dead already? Right? But before we get into that, please like up the video. It helps puts us in the algorithm and helps push this video out to our current subscriber base, and also puts this out to people that's looking for this particular content when you like the video. Next, shout out to all the new subscribers. I appreciate all that you do, and my returning subscribers to the page. I appreciate you liking the video, sharing the video. It definitely helps put us out there. So I appreciate that. All right, so let's get into it, y'all. Let's talk about, is 2K23 dead already? And if so, what are some of the factors that cause it, or that leads people to believe this to be so? All right. So first thing I want to get into is the shooting, right? Let's talk about the shooting a little bit. Now, personally, I like the shooting. It gives more of a realistic feel to it. Like if you're missing your shots, right, you can get into a shooting slump. Like that's a real thing in this game. And I like that aspect. You know, the shot timing changes. You got to practice every little shot that you might want to do, whether you're shooting off the dribble, fading mid-range, because you know you got a different shot, fading with turbo, fading without turbo, right? So you have to be cognizant and mindful of those shot timings. And also as a defender closes out, right, it speeds up your shot. So you have to be wary of that shot timing as well too. So it's a lot of different things from a shooting perspective if you're a big shooter. And I'm speaking more shooting off the dribble, right? Not spot up. Like spot ups, the timing are pretty much the same. You really got two timings spot up, right? It's shooting wide open and shooting contested for spot ups, right? You're not taking too many moving shots as a spot up. But yeah, the shooting difficulty, I think, let's see, if we look back to 2K23, because of, I think it was the sniper badge, right? It helped people make shots even slightly winning at a high clip, right? Whites, a lot of people, I think the average shooting was probably about 60 to 65% last year. I know some people that shot in the 80s. I myself was over a 70% shooter, right? And 2K, you know, they touched that up a lot. Like I said, I like it, but for people that are not good at shooting or greening and understanding the different shots you have to master to be a good shooter in this game, it's tough. Like I said, I see a lot of people. I think the average player probably shoots between 40 and 45% in this game. We're talking about like threes or just jump shots, right? We're not talking about field goal percentage as far as going to the rack, but we're talking about just jump shots. I think the average that I've seen, and this is not empirical data, this is more so from 2K, this is just anecdotal evidence from me playing the game. I would say 40 to 45% is what I'm seeing on average for shooting. Now, me personally, I'm in the 60% shooting because I like to practice on my shots, right? Shots that I'm gonna take against opponents, I practice those. You see what I'm saying? So, and then not only that, finding the right jump shot is a little bit more tedious this year. You got to find the right jump shot that matches what your skill set is and how you time your jump shots, and you pair that with release time. And I think it's just a difficult for people to adjust. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, people are finding difficult to master is the shooting, right? No matter how many jump shots they siphon through, they only have a certain percentage, right? And this all comes back to one thing that, and we'll get into this a little bit later, that I was telling y'all. You know, I used to go on It's Baked, and I used to play with him and a few other guys, and I would tell them, and we'll even have some debates on the skill set of people in 2K, right? Most people don't know how to take smart shots. They don't know what a smart shot is, right? Between a contested shot and then in this year, like shots that you don't think can be contested are contested if they're in a certain peripheral, right? And you got the right badges or setup and stuff like that, then they could, you know, contest your shot. And they may not be that close to you, right? And what I mean contest shot is, it speeds up your timing on your shot, which means you might normally shoot that shot on a wide open. If it's slightly contested, you're gonna have to shoot that faster. It'll become a slightly late what your normal release timing is. So you have to really cue in on your hands and understand when people closing out and how they can speed up your jump shot. So I think that is a reason why a lot of people are making a exodus from this game, because shooting is difficult for a lot of people, right? And like I say, I shoot in the 60s, and shooting, sometimes I can get into slumps. I might be in a game where I might go 1 for 5 or 1 for 4. I don't, maybe 2 games. If I do that too many times, then I'm gonna take, I'm not gonna shoot as much, and then I'm gonna go back and practice my shot a little bit more because there's something off. I like to warm up before I shoot anyway. And what I realized, this is pro-am timing is a lot different than rec timing. So if I want my rec timing, then I'll probably play a few my career games and get my rec timing, or do a few practice games, a few practice sessions to get my timing right before I go into the game. That's me though. A lot of people don't do that. So that's one thing. That's number one, is shooting, right? Shooting difficulty is really hurting people, right? And this is what we asked for, this is what we asked for. All right, number 2, we're going to talk about, is slashing too easy in this game, right? My opinion, I feel like slashing is pretty easy in this game. You don't have to, you could, you get you a 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" build, right? And, you could take off. And it's hard to kind of block in some instances, right? You got to have right position. You got to have right timing. If you want to block some of these shots, and you got to have the right attributes and badges if you want to block some of these shots. I just think, it kind of feels like 2K21 in a sense. It's not as bad as 2K21, but it feels like that. Like you just go and you don't even have to. My biggest issue is to get contact dunks. You don't even have to do the not shot stick, but the dunk meter to get, contact dunks. You just hold square, right? You can just press square. A lot of people just pressing square and getting these dunks. It's not a whole bunch of skill involved, right? And that's just from my observation. Like, I know what the meter looks like. I know how you got to trigger the meter. And a lot of times, nine times out of 10, opponents are not using that meter like that. So I think slashing is a little too easy, right? And that may be turning people off, right? I don't have an issue with it per se. I have defense on my builds. I have interior. I have block. I get a lot of blocks. I get a lot of snatch blocks and stuff like that. I just think slashing may be too easy, and that'll probably lead us to point number 3. And the reason slashing is easy is because I think the defense, it's tougher to play defense, especially if you don't have clamps or anything like that in this game. My opinion. Like I say, everything in this video is my opinion. You guys can go in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts, if you agree or disagree. I appreciate the comments that you guys leave, right? Whether I agree with it or not, I appreciate all of that. So yeah, number 3, the defense is tough for people, right? I'm a defensive guy, right? So I don't have the same reservations, because I've been telling people for years, like, this game exposed a lot of weaknesses that players had in the whole player base, right? And defense is a key weakness that people had. People used badges to kind of help bail them out, right? And they used defensive assists to kind of help bail them out previously, right? But this year, if you're not defensively sound, meaning you got right position, you're not using the shading system to your advantage. I've always played, if you guys see in my past videos, like 2K22, even in 2K21, when I was telling y'all about defense, y'all can go back all the way back on my first videos on this channel when I was talking to y'all about defense. I kept telling y'all need to shade people and force people into zones that they're uncomfortable in, right? So for me, this is, defense is the same, right? But for most people that don't have clamps, that's number 1. And then clamps is like a tier 3 badge for a lot of people, and it takes a while to get to core those badges to be able to use that, right? So pair that with the defense and lack thereof for a lot of players, right? That might be turning a lot of people off and letting people leave. And then you got, games like Call of Duty just came out. There's other games for people to play and spend their time on that they would enjoy. So, It's tough. Like I said, if you're not fundamentally sound on the defensive side, if you don't have a fundamentally sound defensive team that you run with, right? And that's another thing, you want to having the right people to run with, because I told y'all, if they were going to make this game stricter, the casual player base will feel it the most, because when you play with randoms, most randoms are very underskilled, right? So they only know how to do a few things, and you tighten that up and make that tough for a lot of people. The casual experience is going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible. You pair that with people not making any shots, people don't know how to pass, right? And then you may pass. I didn't even get it. I don't even have passing this difficult, but passing, the animations you get for passing, if you don't have high pass accuracy, is atrocious. Like, they want you to skip past, they want you to, stuff like I already do. So the way the game is doesn't impact me, because I've always been doing that stuff. Skip passes and, passing off of angles. I made the video last year how to pass, y'all. The same thing I was talking about last year applies to this year in angles, and creating those angles and those windows to make good passing, skip passes, bounce passes, and even your passing settings. I already talked about that last year. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it's not that big an issue, but for a lot of people, they don't have good passing skills and good passing IQ. So, like I said, number 3, defense is kind of tough for a lot of people to play. And they're just not having a good time with that, right? Which is fine, but at the same time, that impacts the game. Number 4 is probably the biggest thing for me, is probably lack of creativity, and that leads into fun factor. So dribbling, I'm on the fence about a lot of stuff in the game, right? I actually like the stamina system, right? But the stamina system makes it super restrictive from a dribbler perspective. So dribblers are only going to dribble a few particular ways, right? Do I say they should have, do I think dribblers should have, the whole clock to dribble? I'm fine with that, honestly. If you ask me personally, I'm fine with that. My issue with last year wasn't that you could dribble the whole shot clock away. My issue with last year was you couldn't buck dribblers when they wanted to move side to side like that. So it was more of a defensive issue compared to a offensive issue, right? If they allowed you to bump the ball handlers, right, then I think it would have been a lot easier. It would have been a lot better to contain those. I'm all for, a dribbler just dribbling as much as he wants to, because the more he dribbles, the more at a disadvantage he puts himself, right? So I'm okay with that. And then, that gives that community, the whole dribbler community, they get their fix on playing the game like how they like to play. This is why I talk about fun factor and lack of creativity, right? We want to have a lane for people that like to do that, right? So, and it's not saying me, I'm not a huge dribbler like that. Now I can do most of the stuff that you guys see other people do, right? But I'm a more efficient style dribbler. So I might do all this stuff just to have fun, but usually if I'm in a game, it's gonna be 2 to 3 dribble moves, and I'm getting to my spot, come back, get to another spot, then I'm off the ball, move the ball around. That's my type of game. But you got to have lanes for people to be creative, and for other people to kind of figure out how to put certain combinations together, how to do certain things, right? And a lot of people talk about the cheese and stuff like that. It's a video game to me. So in my opinion, cheese has always been a part of video games and what makes a lot of stuff fun. So I think a lot of people just not having fun with the way the dribbling system is, like it or hate it, but people just not having fun with it. So if they're not making money from the game, if they're not playing like that, and they don't have a huge roster of people to play with, then people are just gonna be like, nah, this is not for me. I'm gonna go and play something else, or go to current gen or whatever you're doing, or even go back to 2K22 if they want to do, because that's fun for them, right? So we can't knock what the other man or woman finds is fun for them, right? I don't police how people play the game. So whatever's fun for you, that's what you like doing, go ahead and do that. All right, so that's number 4. Number 5, it's a pay to play game, y'all. Especially my career, my team, it's pay to play, right? And I think people are sick of that. People don't want pay to play, although it's been pay to play for a while. And I know a lot of people talk about VC prices, it's expensive. So I already did the video. VC prices are basically the same like they were yesterday. The cost for my player builds are up about 12 to 15%, right? Which isn't that big of a deal, right? I mean, people complain about stuff. It was the exact same way as last year, y'all, but people weren't complaining. And the part of the reason I think people weren't complaining is because it was so easy to finish a build, right? When we got that SummerSlam in season 2, I think last year, it made it so easy to badge out a build and create a build. Like you can finish a build in like a few days. You can get all your badges in 2 days. You could get your player up to, when you got Rebirth, you get your player up to 99 in like 5 to 6 days, right? Boom. Now let's make a new build. Now with the core system, coupled with how much it costs and the time investment it takes to get this player to max, I think some people just like, nah, that's enough. I don't want to do that. Then you gotta, get boosts and all stuff like that. And you couple that with like on the spin, like the spin last year was a lot better. Like I hate that they removed double VC. Maybe they make that a reward in the seasons to come. We'll see. I doubt it. But on the wheel, once you got to level 26 last year, you got better rewards. This year, you don't get better rewards, y'all. It's like I'm level 35 and I'm still getting 500 VC off the wheel. That should not happen. I'm still getting like 2 boosts or something like that. That should not happen, in my opinion. So that whole pay to play thing and the lack of rewards, getting the rewards, although I do think some of the season rewards are fire, it just doesn't, compensate for the lack of rewards you're getting from actually playing the game daily. So, pay to play. I think that's another reason. Number 5, people are saying the game is dead. All right, last one, number 6. Now, this is a personal thought I have of mine, and let me expound on it. So, number 6 is a 2K community lack of fundamental skills. Skills and not practicing their skill set. Now, people debated me on this last year, and I told you, if all the stuff they were saying about 2K23 was true and all the changes they was gonna make, I'd say this is gonna be tough for a lot of people out there, because last year was already tough playing with randoms. But most, and this is a mechanic stuff. This is a mechanic stat. Right, this is not a stat from 2K, but I truly believe like 90 to 92% of people that play this game are average to below average. Average to below average, right? Right, and I put myself in that casual category as well, right? I say I'm above average, personally. That's how I feel. I won't say I'm elite. I won't say I'm a top player or anything like that. I'm a casual, above average player. And the reason I say most people are average to below average is because they lack fundamental skills in playing this game, right? Basketball is about, making right reads, cuts, exploiting mismatches, boxing out, screens, on-time passes, and a lot of the stuff most people don't know how to do. You will be amazed, or you wouldn't be amazed, some of y'all that play out there, right? The amount of people that don't know how to set a screen, bigs don't know how to set a screen. Like, it's staggering, y'all. Most of the people out there do not know how to set screens, right? They'll go and they'll press circle or B, and then they'll just hold it. Like, no, in this game, to set proper screens, you need to go to where the defender is and pin screen him. You need to go pin screen him, right? Not just hold circle or square out in the open. That's not how you set a screen, right? That's a fundamental thing, y'all. Most people don't know how to do that. A good majority of people don't know how to set screens in this game. I played thousands of games over the years, and it's been the same thing every year. People don't know how to set screens. They don't know how to box out to get rebounds. That is the most fundamental thing in this game. Like, you do that, you learn that in my career. You see what I'm saying? This is how I know people don't do the practice. They don't do the 2KU. They don't do none of that. They just load the game, put VC on their player, and then they go play. They don't practice the fundamentals that will help them win games. See what I'm saying? What did I talk about? I talk about boxing out. I talk about setting screens, right? I already told y'all people don't know how to pass. People don't know how to pass in this game. They can't read they dribble with their head down. They only looking at their player. They don't know how to read. They don't know how to read the court. They can't read half the court. They can't see the full court. They don't understand the fundamentals of basketball. They don't know if people playing the zone. How do you attack a zone? Right? They don't know none of that. They just play. They don't practice to get better. You know, they got a jump shot gets broke. They don't go practice to get their timing down. And then people take bad shots. You see what I'm saying? People don't know what's a good shot, what's a bad shot. You see what I'm saying? In a game like this, you get punished if you don't have those fundamental skills. You see what I'm saying? That's why I told y'all it was going to be a tough game. It was going to be a tough game for a lot of y'all out there that don't have, people to play with. If you don't have people to play with and you just coming in this game, you're going to have a miserable experience. You have a miserable experience. It's just what it is, because in order to win and play at a satisfactory level, you got to have some fundamental skills. A lot of people say 2K is easy to play, right? Any game is easy to cut on and play, but to win and win at a high level, you got to have some skills. You got to be able to box out. You got to be able to slash. You got to know, when you have the advantage on offense. We're not even gonna talk about defense. 95% of people that play this game do not know how to play defense. I've been saying that for years. You can go listen to my videos. 95% of people that play this game have no clue what they need to be doing on defense. No clue. Y'all know when you run like if you get picked on a play, how many people switch? Right? How many people switch? Not a lot. You just dead on the screen. They're gonna stay there underneath the screen. We ain't even talking about just bigs. We just talking about anybody and switch and pick up, right? People make crazy, like they'll leave a corner wide open just to kind of help on a slashing shot, which is a no-no defensively. Like if he make the two, he make the two. Let the two ride. You don't want to get no threes up. You want to limit as many threes as possible. So yeah, man, this game exposes the 2K community. I'm sorry, but it is, right? This is not a community based on technicality and fundamentals. It's not. It hasn't been since I've been playing. Right? Couple that with something like Call of Duty. Call of Duty just came out, right? Right? And I'm not saying Call of Duty is a super technical community, but there's a big difference in people that play that are really good and people that are casuals, right? There's a big difference, right? You got to know certain things. You got to know, certain head glitches. You got to know the maps. You got to have your settings right. Go look at the videos for Call of Duty, right? What's his name? J God, probably one of the more influential Call of Duty guys, right? I was looking at his settings video, right? His settings video almost is at 500,000 views and the game just came out. Right? Let's look at the settings videos and all the fundamental videos for 2K. People don't watch those videos. And I'm not saying 2K community is as big as Call of Duty for sure. But I'm just saying the videos that should have the most views don't. Like tutorials. I was talking with Bake the other day. Like nobody's looking at tutorial videos on how to play defense, how to have the right settings and stuff like that for defense. Right? Everybody wants to look at the offensive stuff. Let me get the best jump shot. Let me get the best dribble sigs and stuff like that, which ain't nothing wrong with that, but there's a lot more fundamentals to the game, y'all, than doing that, than just dribbling and shooting. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot more fundamentals to the game that people don't do, right? So yeah, that's my 6 reasons why I think the game is not in the place where people was expecting it to be. And do I think 2K, and overall, do I think 2K22 is dead? I don't think it's truly dead, but I think it's on life support. I think the points I mentioned, I just don't see a lot of it. You won't get a lot of new people playing this game for a long time. Just for the reasons I mentioned. Like I'll play, and the reason I can play is I have people to play with. Most people, especially new people coming to the game, don't have people to play with. And if you don't have people to play with and you just playing with a random group of people, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's not gonna be a fun experience for most people. So, all right, y'all, that's my thoughts. I probably went on a lot longer than I wanted to for this video. I appreciate all of you guys sticking with the video for this long. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. 2K Mechanic out. Have a great rest of the day, y'all. Peace.